From the darkest corners of the podcast dungeon, you have come across another goddamn horror podcast with Graham Faye, Jonas Barnes, and Ryan Danley.
Welcome, everybody, to yet another goddamn horror podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Ryan Danley, coming to you from Portland, Oregon.
I'm your other host, Graham, coming to you from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, where?
Flatbush Park.
Okay. New York?
Near King's Theater. Come get me. Yeah.
New York? Okay.
I'm sick. I'll get you sick.
Yeah, you were sick and you missed out on David Howard Thornton.
I know, man. I cannot believe it. Like, one of the best episodes of the year, and I slept. I needed the sleep, but and I woke up and I felt like better than I had felt all week, and I was like, oh, and then you guys were like, hey, that was a great episode. I was like, God damn it. I fucking missed the best episode.
It might be the best episode we actually ever had. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That can't be possible because it would have to be all three of us there.
I don't know. Like, when you
listen to
it, you'll see it. I mean, it's David Howard Thornton, for the love of God. I mean,
I know, and the dude is the coolest.
He is absolutely the coolest. And I was thinking about it, and I'm gonna get sappy here for a second, but I've had a lot of some really terrible things have happened in 2024, like Trump and stuff. I had a really great 2024. Opened up for Roy Wood Jr. I worked with Cornel West. Comedy was fantastic for me. I think I did something like 150 shows, something like that. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was really.
Is that considered grinding?
Yeah,
or
I'm actually so my goal is, I was talking to a fellow comic the other day. My goal is for 2025 is to do 300 sets, not just shows, but open mics, just anything.
That's a grind.
And try to do 300 sets. Yeah. So
you did more of a hustle?
I started next year. Actually, I'm not calling it cheating because it's the week of, but I'm starting. This is the first week of it.
Sure.
I am. So I started with 2 open mics yesterday. I have a show tonight, and then I have another show on Thursday. So I'm already going to start off with 4 this week, and so and then hopefully I pick up one more open mic or another show. So I'm trying to come up with a. I'm just going to come out right here and just tell my goals of this year is I want to release a 7-inch. Everybody has a full length record, but I want to release a 7-inch of a lot of material I've recently burned. You know what I mean? That I love. That's great material, but it's just time to challenge myself with you know what I mean? I constantly work on new jokes and stuff like that, but I want a full new hour by the end of 2025, and think about that, and then every year trying to release a 7-inch or a 12-inch.
Document.
Yeah, exactly. I want to release a 7-inch. I mean, there's some jokes that I'm gonna keep. In my dogs and cats joke will probably stay with me until I'm in the grave, just because I love telling that joke, and it works. And so I want to just keep on doing those things. But ultimately, that's my goal for stand-up for this year, and also bringing another goddamn horror podcast to the next level. I mean, and it's a good way to start by bringing in David Howard Thornton, who really is and like I said, I don't want to get sappy, but he represents a lot of what we're doing here. You know what I mean? He's an independent artist. He's a full-fledged fan, really dedicated, really interesting. Him and I have been chatting since the show, and and we're talking about Joker stuff and things like that, and you know what I mean? And so to be able to interview him was a really nice cherry to the end of a pretty solid entertainment based year for me. You know what I mean? So and to be able to discuss the industry, with guys like him, and even though we interview so many amazing people, I never get over. You know what I mean? I never don't think that this is rap. You know what I mean? That we get to talk to these great artists, and I hope I never lose them. You know what I mean? That like to sit there and talk to. I mean, I remember the first time I watched Terrifier. I mean, I went like, I couldn't have loved it anymore. Like, it reminded me of why I liked horror. You know what I mean? Like that first Terrifier, and like,
Yeah.
and like, I even like when I saw it, I'm like, I don't like clowns. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I was like,
I remember you were kind of anti-clown. Then all of a sudden you went on a clown kick, and you're watching Tickles the Clown and Gobbles the Clown.
Now I'm actually super pro clown movie, and really art, and then the movie Clown, which I think is
it's a great movie. And Stitches, I really like Stitches.
Oh, I love Stitches too. You know what I mean? So like all of these movies are fantastic, and so like I absolutely love it. So it was really, really nice to settle in the year, and put that cherry on top with a great interview with him, and about his and I'm a comic book guy too, and so it was it's right here, Death in the Family, which is what that his Joker deal is a scene from, and so it's been really so hopefully this year we can so if you're listening, hey, how about tell a friend of yours about us if you have a horror loving fan. You know what I mean? I'm just asking you guys. I'm just coming with my hat in my hand. You know what I mean? Just give us a little nudge. You know what I mean? We're doing really good. We have some great popular episodes, but we want to make sure that we're keeping those big hitters to help us carry and build a bigger stage for those independent films that need all the love that they can get. You know what I mean? That don't have money behind it to get massive advertising and all that stuff that everybody out here is just hoping that people that figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, so
it's hard. It blows my mind kind of that a movie that I think made all three of our lists it may not be able to be seen unless you buy a physical copy. And Black Eyed Susan.
Oh yeah, Black Eyed Susan did not make my list, but not because it's
right.
It was just there was just plenty of.
There was a lot. That's what we're doing today, right?
Right. That's what we're doing. I'm
pretty excited. I do real quick want to give a shout out to my buddy Andrew from Andy's Attic. He is an incredible artist, and he sent me a box this year of just an amazing. It's like Freddy in I don't even know. It's like this whole thing that goes together, and I think it moves and everything. But he like built out of toy pieces and stuff. This like big thing that I get to put together and like turn on and everything. Right. Anyway, it painted it beautifully. It just looks so rad, and there's so many cool pieces, and I have to sit down with him and go for it. But I wanted to give a big thanks to him because he's always been a huge supporter, and I know he's not able to give much sometimes, but he always supports and always sends me cool things like that. And he's just one of I think the coolest people out there. So big shout out to Andy. I want to do that before the end of the year. And my mom and my wife.
I'm just giving a shout out to me. No, I give a shout out to both you guys. I love you both. You guys are like brothers, and with the exception of with a couple flare-ups over time, which is normal for any group of people.
I think so.
For moving together, and especially when we're as passionate as we are. But I mean, but all of those are pretty minor.
Yeah.
Respect for each
other.
We
just grow closer.
Yep, exactly. You know what I mean? Like we're all great brothers, and we got the scars to prove it. And it's you know what I mean? Like because if the world doesn't know, this is it might just sound like we're just having fun and joking around, but it's a thing. You know what I mean? It
means a lot to us.
Yeah, it really does, and we want the best guests, and we want to promote the things that we love, and we want to get listeners, and we want to do all the things, and we're all juggling you know what I mean? Like I have like a day job that I don't ever talk about on here mostly, but I have like a job that I do like 50 hours a week beyond podcasting. I acted in a movie this year. You know what I mean? Like all those comedy shows, all that, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, I mean, it's just like, it's crazy, but we keep this floating, and it's really one of the best things. So big shout out to you. Big shout out to Josie, who's been real great to me this year. Real big.
Josie rules.
She does, and is a big part of my feel good success. And my dogs and the kids and David Howard Thornton. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's a good list.
That's a great list. I'm gonna go there. So yeah, big shout outs to you. And then you know, Army of the Goddamn, and all the listeners everywhere. You know what I mean? When I get the things that come up that say, you know, we're doing great in Cambodia, and we're doing great in France, and we're doing, you know, like when I see that we're like the number 3 film interview podcast in France, like, that blows my mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, just think about us 3 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you would have seen me when I was 15, you know what I mean? You would have been like, you know, that guy's going to grow up to talk to people about horror movies, and people all over the world are going to listen to it. You would be like, no way. That guy is going to work at a car wash, and there's anything the matter with working at a car wash. But you know what I mean? But like, and that's going to happen there. And so we're all really stoked to be here. Jonas, I couldn't make it. You know, I figured, you know, I had enough Jonas in the David Howard Thornton interview, and I just needed some Graham time. Now, he was actually the apartment next door to him was being worked on, some Jonas story. My guess is it sounded like he was in the background of you know, a pizza spot. You know what I mean? That's what it's but you know, but no, we miss Jonas, but we will talk about our top 10 lists of the year. Like, I'm going to be real honest with you, Graham, about the top 10 lists. Actually, writing it this year.
Yeah.
Like, there's a part of me that's kind of, I don't know, like, we're going to keep doing these because people like them and people like lists.
Well, I do too. Yeah. But I think I know where you're going, but I
don't really, I just want to like list off all, like I would rather just list off all the movies I like than like kind of like listing them, because I kind of feel like listing them, like, it puts my brain in a weird place that I don't. Which is like, I have to sort of judge art against other art. You know what I mean? And like, anything in the top 20, like I like to put them like one over the other. Like, I have some clear favorites, and I have one that is a clear favorite, and so I chose it as number 1. It's like one of the few movies that I watched more than twice this year, and one of the, you know, like, and things like that. But I don't know, like, maybe maybe as the world sort of is suffocating outside, I'm less interested in like judging art. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
know exactly what you mean.
You know, I look at all these people and all the work that they've put into all of this, and maybe it's because I did a movie too or whatever, but maybe like, it's hard for me to say like you know, like I was watching on TikTok some people, like TikTokers I really respect, some horror TikTokers I really love, and I think a lot of people on there are just doing the best they can, and they're just doing lists, and looking for content too. And you know, and a lot of people are doing like their least favorite movies of the year, and like you know, like one guy had a movie by a family that makes movies that we've had on here that we really respect. And you know what I mean? And like, and there was a part of me that was like, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like the feeling of like, you know, like shitting on independent films. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's been sort of our whole thing from the beginning.
No, totally.
Like, we really like, I find it. That's why when we first started, I was just like, I love everything. Because I can find something, especially in indie horror, like and especially after talking to so many indie creators now, like how hard it is to do this. Like, there's no way I could say, like, it's not that good. It's like for anything, even if it's not.
Even if I don't like it, there's like a reality of it. And we've always been a proponent of meeting horror where it's at. And, and I think that's important. But more and more, especially as like, like there's a lot of grossness out there. Like, I don't know, like shitting on artists who are like really honestly trying and scraping things together because they have passion for art and are just trying to make something entertaining. It's just kind of like, I just not really feeling that way right now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll honestly, like, if you have a big bunch of money and you're but even then I'm less and less like that now. Like I just like, I mean, like, did I enjoy Beetlejuice? No, I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it was, I think that fundamentally, I think that like I could fix the movie because there was good chunks in it. Like, I feel like, you know what I mean? Not that I'm rad or anything, but I feel like there's a part, but am I going to sit here and say that like a group of people who put together a film and then I watch it and be like, oh, they're kind of missing this and that and this and that, you know what I mean? But they're doing this on like the money that they mortgaged their house with, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm just not really there. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of feel like, I don't know. So we'll do this, and I'm about it, and I'm really, really about it. And I think I only have one major motion picture.
I specifically left my the one that I liked off because I didn't go with any major motion pictures.
No, and I appreciate that, but also like the guy who makes that's a really good dude and like somebody I really like and I really respect.
For sure. No, there are absolutely movies that I saw, big ones this year that I loved.
Yeah, exactly. And so like so our lists are I mean, like, we're gonna have a lot the same. So we will go through them and hopefully we'll just kind of break it down. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do 10, 10, and 10? Because we're going to be reading off Jonas's.
Yeah. So all right. So do you want to go like you do yours or I do mine and then you do yours and then we do Jonas's?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Go for it.
God damn. All right. This is fine. This is fine. All right. So my number 10. Man, there are a lot of I'll do the honorable mentions later. My number 10 was The Coffee Table, directed by K.A. Casas and written by him and Christina Botobia, maybe, I'm not sure, but amazing movie. We talked about it a lot, but it's Spanish and it's about basically listening to your partner about home furniture shopping, because the worst possible thing that can happen happens, and then you just white knuckle the rest of the movie. Which I absolutely love that kind of layout. It was fed to you in such a cool way. It's just sort of like, here's the setup, here's what happens, deal with it now, and it like slowly like builds and builds into your gut. I don't know. I love that fucking movie. I'm pretty sure you guys have that on there somewhere, but also just on top of that, the director K.A. wrote me and thanked me for putting it on the list. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's really sweet. Yeah, I mean, this is hard because we have so many on the same list. So yeah, you should just go ahead and read your list. How about like that? How about that? Yeah. Sorry. We should have figured this is why we have
it's a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just kind of winging it and we're just having a fun, relaxing time. So go ahead, Graham. Just read your entire list. Let's go.
All right. Number 9 was written and directed by Mary Donnerman. One of my favorite performances was in this movie. It was Booger, and it wasn't even by the cat, but the cat Booger was awesome. I don't think that was the cat's real name, but Booger is about a woman who loses her best friend, and her best friend leaves her cat behind, and the cat one night bites her and runs out the window, and she goes looking for the cat and just kind of falls apart from there on. And it's just an incredible movie about dealing with loss and change and everything. But filmed here in Brooklyn, just an absolute stunner of a movie. And Grace Glowicki as the lead is unmatched, I think, this year. I think she had the best performance in a walk in anything. So, yeah. Number 8, this is weird. Late Night with the Devil, written and directed by Cameron and Colin Cairns, I believe. I think we all know about that. It was David Dashmalchian was incredible as the host of 1977 October 31st episode of a late night show where he wants to make it spooky, and he brings on some spooky people, and it goes to fucking hell.
Spooky. He wins. He gets it spooky. He really does.
This was so good. Yeah, and it was just such a different, cool. I guess people are calling it kind of found footage, since technically I guess it is, but it looks like an old 70s TV show, and it was such a cool breath of fresh air. It's always weird when a breath of fresh air comes from like an old stale 70s thing, Sure. But number 7, In a Violent Nature, written and directed by Chris Nash. Jesus Christ, that movie was divisive, and I really, really think if you didn't love that movie, or at least understand it, then you don't really understand slashers, at least.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, right, like I kind of feel like it's the most misunderstood movie of the year.
It might be.
People are like, oh, it's boring. Okay, it's an A24 movie, so like that's going to be what an A24 slasher is, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like if you said to me, what does an A24 slasher look like? I would be like, okay, well, it's this, right? You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just kind of feel like it's a real easy movie to. I mean, like, I think the only thing that was like a little weird for me is that it reminded me of the Friday the 13th video game, almost to like that they were almost like paying a little bit of a nod to it, like because like at the end when she has like the gas tank and like the stuff, you're like, wait a second, are you you know what I mean? Is it really that far? But the reality is giving the flip side, and like this is what it is, and like I mean like at some point, and that's kind of what I'm getting to earlier, like, do we want people to push boundaries, and do we want people to? I'll make the Skinamarink argument. Like, do I like Skinamarink? It's not my favorite. I mean, I'll be really honest, but am I glad dude made Skinamarink? 100%. Like, do I support people going out there and making Skinamarink? For sure. Am I going to come on here and like shit on it? No. I mean, do I love it? No. But I don't gotta like love it to respect it. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And so like, so yeah.
All right, number 6, another found footage. Found footage, I've realized I'm a huge fan, apparently. I think I knew this. I just like always, it got like some heat for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh yeah, found foot, but it's always rat. Anyway, Frogman, directed and written by Anthony Cousins, who we had on. That movie was just a perfect creature feature found footage for me. It was perfect. In every way. Great ending, great story, great people making it. I loved every second. So that blew me away. This movie called Frogman. Like I was like, nah.
No, Frogman is absolutely incredible, and it was fun talking to him about it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a really great movie, and it's everybody really needs to check out Frogman. Like it's so found footage, like I guess what it comes down to for me, and I'm going to keep giving my big theories because it's the end of the year and everybody's kind of in their fields and everybody's always like, I'm just not gonna like write off any genre of horror. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not going to say like it's like, yes, there's a lot of genres of horror, but I'm not going to limit it to like people are like, oh, I don't like found footage, and I'm like, really? Like all of it? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like it's just weird to say.
I said it about exorcism movies, and then watched When Evil Lurks. It's like my favorite film ever now.
Right. I mean, like, and And like, listen, I get it. Like, you know, like I had to get to a point where I said, like, you know, good, like real cops might be bad, but like movie cops acting like how good cops should act. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I mean, like, yeah, like if it's like propaganda, like Con Air, then I can be a little like, okay, this is straight up like propaganda. But like, if it's just like, if it's just characters playing something, I can be like, and you know, I've said this about the Conjuring movies is like real Warrens, terrible people. Like literally terrible human beings. Fake Warrens in the fake Warren universe, absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I can make that line, and I get why anybody wouldn't want that, and I'm not telling them nobody to not do what feels comfortable for you, and I'm specifically not telling that to you. Like, if you don't like that and don't support that, my hat's off to you, because that's good. But like, I can watch a core, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, you know, like the majority of our history books are filled with lies, so like it's, you know what I mean? So like I don't think anybody's gonna be like, yeah, like we should all become like, you know, I mean, I think everybody knows the Warrens were full of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, anyways, but yeah.
And at the end, these aren't documentaries, and they shouldn't ever be treated as such.
Right, exactly. And you kind of get into a, you know, is the art causing this? You know what I mean? And like, and I think that that's a really like, and like this kind of this is a slippery slope, I understand, into like concept, you know, the concept of cancel culture and stuff like that, which is of course shit that like if you're out there and you're saying meaningful, heartful things to human beings, and your point is to be oppressive and things like, yeah, fuck you, I don't care if people tell you to shut up. You know what I mean? But if you're just, but the whole, like, the MPAA, we talk about this in the David Howard Thornton episode, is like the MPAA, you know, like neuters movies and has been like this arm of like the Christian, like sort of like normal patriarchal ideal in this country for so long with our art, that when we have unrated movies, it's so much better because we're actually getting to see like real things. So there's a fine line in there between saying, hey, like, and I understand who chooses that and whatever, but I think at the end of the day, we all know that movies that promote real hate and real things to real human beings, and specifically vulnerable classes of people, is a terrible thing. Where movies that are just like showing make-believe violence and like I said on that episode, like if a Barbie ruins my daughter's like self-esteem, I have fucked up on every end.
Yeah, you didn't fuck up. All right, number 5, The Substance. It was one of the biggest movies that came out this year. I still think it's technically an indie. You know, I guess it had a lot of backing. I'm not really sure where this falls. It had a lot of backing. It went to cons. It was bought by Universal or whatever, or Warner Brothers. I can't remember which, but then they sold it to Mubi because it was unreleasable.
Right.
Which is the fucking coolest thing to me ever. I don't know what the fuck a Mubi is, but like now I do. Because these pansies got scared of this dope ass movie. This movie is fucking incredible. If you know Coralie Farge, I believe is her name. If you've seen Revenge, you know she doesn't pull punches. And holy shit, this didn't pull punches, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
Number 4, I saw The TV Glow. This movie is the only one that made me cry, legitimately, from the performances. They were incredible. The entire movie had this unbelievable feel to it that was like alien but familiar, and also there was a lot of Buffy shit going on in it, which was so fucking cool to me and really tugged at the heartstrings. So that was one of my favorite movies. That was number 4. Number 3, we're getting into the big 3 here. And this is definitely the funniest movie on here by far, Frankie Frico by Steve Kostansky, who did Psycho Gorman. Way more, and The Void. This is way more in line with The Void. Psycho Gorman. It's very funny, very 80s, very over the top, ridiculous. I loved every fucking second of it. I bought a copy as soon as I could. It is like, and it's a Christmas movie. I didn't even really realize, and you don't until the end. And there's like anyway, just fucking. If you haven't seen Frankie Frico, there's no way you can't have the most fun watching that. Number 2, Scooter McRae's Black Eyed Susan. I think it was just such a triumph to get made and to have it look the way it did and to be so heavy and so good. And we had a great talk with Scooter, and that dude is amazing. And yeah, so that's my number 2. And number 1 was The Devil's Bath. I think it's German. It's by the woman that did The Lodge, which is also one of my favorites. But this just took the mental issues of women in the past, especially setting it in the past and showing some really wild things. I don't want to spoil it because it's sort of the whole point of the movie is the end, but and going through the movie. But holy shit, when the end hit, the entire movie came flooding back, hit me right in the frontal lobe, like, and just shocked me to the core. And it's exactly what I want movies to do to me when I watch them. So The Devil's Bath was my favorite movie this year.
Honorable mentions?
Yeah, I just saw afterwards, non-horror, Joker 2, I fucking loved. I don't care what anybody says. I thought it was fantastic. Furiosa, those 2, I absolutely loved. And Alien, I didn't put on because it was such a big budget studio thing, and I didn't want to really take away from any of the other ones. But Alien Romulus, I absolutely loved. And then Cuckoo, I just watched, and holy shit, Cuckoo and What You Wish For would have completely disrupted my lists if I had seen them before I made the cutoff. So
Cuckoo made it on and off my list, and Cuckoo is also in my honorable mentions, but easily could have been on the list. I mean, to be quite honest with you, like my honorable mentions were easily on the list.
Easily, all of mine, and I had hundreds, almost.
Right, like I mean, like almost everything I saw this year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here, do we want to read? We'll read Jonas's. We'll read Jonas.
At the end, yeah.
Okay. In the 10 slot, I have Abigail, and which I think is my one big motion picture.
I put it on because the directors, I just love them so much.
Yeah,
but I put it on my long the ones that didn't make it list that I posted on all my socials.
I just think it's I thought it was like, I mean, people were really mad about how bad the marketing for it kind of ruined the story, ruined the surprise, and I agree with that. It's a tough movie to market because you would have to like it, I mean, I guess they could have marketed like there was some other monster and like that was chasing them, and like you know what I mean, something like that. They could have left it out that she was right. I get it. Like, I don't think that's the movie's fault though. So like, I have to judge the movie on its own. You know what I mean? And I think that Matt Bettinelli, Olpen, and Tyler Gillette, and those guys are really good guys. They did the last 2 Scream movies, Ready or Not. They're doing the Ready or Not sequel right now, and you know what I mean. And like, I don't know, like I think that they do great work. I think the movie was really cool. I like the interactions with people. I like
so cool. Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens is amazing. Angus MacLeod's last movie before he passed. Rest in peace. Like, you know, like it was just I don't know. Like, it was just really the violence.
It's better the second time. Like when you know the movie. And you go in and watch it again, it's way better too.
And I've seen it. I have seen it 3 times. So I keep. I'll throw it on. It's a good throw-on movie because like the violence is fucking good. You know what I mean? And it's a brutal horror movie. So, like this is like one of those things, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but like it's like I'm sorry that the marketing sort of gave away like a chunk of it, and that would have been a fun discovery in it. But like, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the movie itself is, I think, a badass film. And
It
like,
is.
there wasn't a time in the movie I wasn't like, this is super good. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, so I've heard some people say the beginning was boring because they were looking for things like that. Like, it's a crime caper to begin with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like there's nothing boring about it. They kidnap like a teen like kidnaps a child, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, if you think that's boring, like, my God, you must hate like 90% of films. You know what I mean? Like, it's
For real.
like I mean, so yeah. So I don't know. Like, I get that like wanting to get to that part as a horror fan is like would have been exciting, but like I don't know. I seem to not be bothered by it, and I really enjoyed it. And I think all the performances were really
100%.
rad. I think she kicked ass. I think like
Yep.
you know what I
Catherine
mean.
Newton's Danzig dance was one of the best things of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I love. The next one is like a movie that really spoke to my heart. Really spoke to like a core. This really could have been, most of these really could have been anywhere on the list. So like honestly, like putting them in order, this is going to go as per what I said at the beginning. Like
Right.
I'm about to say, well, this one's number 9, and I'm looking at it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
just
know
read
this
them off.
fucking rule. Like it's Mr. Crockett, and
Oh yeah.
and Mr. Crockett is, I mean, to me, like a creep show episode, or like a Tales from the Crypt episode, or like a creep show skit,
Great visual effect.
Great visual effects,
yeah.
like the monster and the you know what I mean? Like it is absolutely fantastic, and I just absolutely loved it. I think it's really underseen, and a big shout out to Hulu this year in their horror. They have upped their horror, and they have upped their stand-up comedy, and they're putting those 800-pound gorilla stand-up comic specials on, which include Ben Roy and
super
Kyle
rad.
Kinane, and like friends of the show, personal friends. I mean, like so big shout out to Hulu for kind of like getting better. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never get rid of Netflix because like there is some great things on Netflix, and when I do find something on Netflix to I like absolutely love it. That being said, I don't think that they've gotten any better. I think they've just kind of stayed the same with what they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? And so to see Hulu take like big jumps and be like, you know what, we're going to get some good horror on here this year. And like, I find myself just clicking on Hulu now and seeing like, what do they got in the horror section? You know what I mean? And like, and so, big shout out to Hulu, Mr. Crockett, please check it out. At number 8, I have The Substance. I think everybody has it on the list this year.
Most people, I think, have it at number 1 too.
Yeah, I mean, like I love The Substance. I think
it's really fantastic.
It's really pretty, but it's pretty fucking perfect. I mean, some people can complain about the end or blah 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 blah, blah all that. I think it's all perfect from beginning to end, and I love you. Anytime, like, and not spoiler alert, but anytime like people get soaked in blood, I am tickled. So like I'm just going to like and I just think I think it's a callback to Cronenbergian freaking body horror, and like you know what I mean? Like as much as I like all genres of horror, I think body horror is always going to be my favorite. And like it's just like it just really hits me in a real special place, and it's because I grew up on Reanimator, and because I grew up you know what I mean, on Society, and
that's why Street Trash almost made my list.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I mean. And so number 7 is Azrael,
which
I just like I am.
God, that ending too is so good every time.
So good, and I love a movie that like takes like a big chance and like not putting dialogue, and like a movie that like you know what I mean. And I'm gonna be really honest, like Samara Weaving is, I think, like if you asked me to choose between like Samara Weaving and Mia Goth, I'd pick Samara Weaving.
Easily.
And I love Mia Goth. Like her thing at the end of Pearl is one of the
best things. Yeah,
one of the best things ever. But I I just think Samara Weaving, like, and the only reason I compare them is because they're in similar roles and at similar times, and you know what I mean. And they're both like, but Samara Weaving is just, I just think it's just such a like a beast of an actor, and she could really pull off like that, like the look on her face, you know what I mean? Like at the end of Ready or Not, the look on her face, and the look on her face in this movie and everything like that. She is such a beast of an actor, and I just absolutely love Azrael. Yeah.
100%.
I got Frogman next.
Hell yeah.
Frogman went back and forth from middle of the list to off of it. And that being said, which is hilarious because I fucking love Frogman. Like it was
Frogman
like it's either gonna be in the middle or for some reason off it. Like I just it went back and forth between Cuckoo and Frogman, to be quite honest with you, because it was the thing is I've had a year to enjoy Frogman, and I mean we had him on the show and we've had it, and I just watched Cuckoo, and so it's fresh with me. So Frogman.
So Cuckoo's off your list?
It's on my honorable.
Right. Okay.
It's on my
I just want to ask real quick, it gave you a Vivarium vibe?
Yeah, I mean, it's like in that thing where it
was like a folk vivarium, folk horror
vivarium. I like Cuckoo a lot better than I love Vivarium. I'm not saying I thought Vivarium was a great film, and I think it's
one of my favorites.
Yeah, actually, and it's really stuck around for a long time. It's such a great film, but and it has like a level of gravity to it for that film, which when you look at it, you're like, oh, what is this? But I don't know. Like, I just really think Cuckoo was absolutely fantastic.
It was
so you know what? Cuckoo's making the list. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, this goes to 11. I don't care. I'm not kicking Cuckoo off. I'm just not kicking Cuckoo off. So Frogman and Cuckoo make the list.
Put them on the same. Tie it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. There's no rules. There's no rules. None.
I should have thought of that. I always forget.
Yep. Followed up by The Devil's Bath. Devil's Bath is just like,
it's
at the end of that movie, you're like, you know what I mean? Like, it just has that, like, you're like, what did I just watch? And like, you are changed as a person. It's like one of those movies that like draws you in, and it's like, it is, I hate the term slow burn, but it is a very long, methodical movie, and it is gnarly and uncomfortable through a lot of it, and it's really truly a masterpiece. It really could have been a number.
It almost lulls you into bleakness, and then that last bit just clocks you in the head with a bat from behind.
Right, exactly. You're like, oh fuck. At 4, I have Exuma, the South Korean film.
Excellent choice.
Well, after I watched it, I'm like, I don't know if another movie is going to beat this year. It is batshit nuts, and it is batshit nuts with its foot on the pep. You know what I mean? Like, it is like a lot of crazy shit happens, and I love it. And I think anybody who listens to the show knows I am a massive fan of South Korean films, and so like this is just another great example of that. You know what I mean? Of just a great story, insanity. You know what I mean? Like, I think the best. I think the greatest movie of all time. Like, literally, if you said to me like, what is the greatest movie of all time, I would say it's Parasite. And so like this is and so like, and I think that this isn't like Parasite, but it falls into the same sort of like, there's just an intensity to it that's just unbeatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have at 3 The Coffee Table. I think The Coffee Table is fantastic. I think it is absolutely hilarious, and I think it is so fucking brutal, and I think it is so much like, I mean, it's The Coffee Table. Like, it's about a coffee table, and it's about a guy taking a stand at the coffee table, and boy, does that end up being the wrong choice. And like, it is absolutely like phenomenal. The ending is fucking, they stick the landing like no other. It is like one of the most uncomfortable watches, but also like hilariously uncomfortable because it is miserable to a point of hilarity. Fucking love The Coffee Table. And my top 2 is, I'm going to go Late Night with the Devil at number 2. Like everybody says anything about it, I think Late Night, I think the performances are amazing. I think it's fun. I think it's serious. The Bohemian Grove shit, and like the people selling their souls for entertainment, and the evils that we like, there's just so much happening into it. Like, I mean, I think it's the When Evil Lurks or Where Evil Lurks of this
When?
year. When Evil Lurks of 2024. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's got that sort of like nonstop sort of insanity, that sort of like, you know what I mean? Like the evil in the heart of men sort of storyline to it. You know what I mean? And it's really just a really fucking perfect.
So good.
So good. But number one, I got to stick with my Cronenbergs. You know what I mean?
I love it.
I am going to go Humane at number one.
I love it. This was a shock to me, by the way.
Why was it a shock to you?
I don't know. Like I fully agree, and I think it's a great choice. And but I guess you didn't talk about it that much, or at least you didn't talk about it in the sense that I thought you had something else for number one.
Oh yeah, no, I thought Humane was like, I mean,
it's got everything.
It's got everything. So I mean, mind you, Humane started at a top tier because I was excited because her father and her brother, I think, are making like you know, he made the best films of ever. I mean, I have 2 Cronenberg tattoos. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
like, and then I think her brother, you know, I mean, Possessor was like one of my favorite movies of all time. You know what I mean? Like of the last, like when people have asked me to watch, like, what's your favorite horror movie? I get asked that question all the time, and I always get put on the spot. I just say Possessed because I mean, like that movie rules, and it's brutal, and it ends brutal, and it's savage as fuck, and it's like, and it's just such a good movie, and it's body horror and stuff like that. But you know, Caitlin Cronenberg comes in and I just think hits a fucking home run with Humane, which goes from like you know, this crazy ass world where, you know what I mean, people have to die, so you know what I mean, people are just taking sacrifices for it, and then a family has to figure out who's gonna die and all this shit, and like it is, I don't know, it's funny. It deals with I just think that it's like the nuanced art of it is like from like a writing perspective, it's like such a very small window to hit to make a movie like that effective. Like, yeah, because you could make that movie stupid as fuck. You know,
you could make it stupid. You could just make it bleak the entire time,
boring. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of these things, but it's exciting. It's funny. It's like it's, you know, like weird, stupid family drama. Like it's
which is one of my favorite things in horror.
Right.
When the rich family's fighting, like that's why I love Ready or Not so much.
Exactly. Like
it's because they all hate each other actually, right, but they're all rich and stuff. And so that shit is the best to me.
It is, and it's got like that sort of vibe to it, and it's just like them trying to decide who's gonna die, and it's just like, and it is like, I don't know, like I just think it's like a perfect fucking horror movie, and I think like I don't know, like I just kind of feel like when I really sat back and like looked at the year, and I was like, you know, like what have I watched a lot? Yeah, I watched Abigail because Abigail's fucking excellent. Like I'm vacuuming and cleaning up.
Yeah.
Check it out because it's just got like every time you look at a scene, you're like, oh yeah, this is badass. Oh yeah, this is badass. But as far as like sit around, you know, I've showed everybody that will watch the movie with me, Humane. I have done everything you know what I mean, and you know, like I hope all these Cronenbergs have kids who also
little cronies,
like, sweet body horror films, and you know what I mean. Like I want like you know I want it to spread to like you know what I mean. I want Cronenbergism to like become like a thing,
more popular than Lovecraftian.
Exactly. Let me get my list. So one of the movies that have made my honorable mention, which could have easily should have made, you know what, actually, you know what, fuck it, I'm doing the top 12. Doing top 12. I'm gonna put Mads on the list.
Yeah.
I mean, Mads is just too good not to put on the list.
It was real close. It was number 10 for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it is too good a film to like to leave off. It is, you know, normally. So I think the big thing is like I slept on it for a minute because it was like the single shot aspect of it sort of deterred me from it because like
for sure,
because there's a part of me that like I don't need I don't need gimmick to make
stunts.
me like yeah it's, you know what I mean, like I don't need like you know what I mean, and so there's a part of me that was just like oh like whatever, like it's just you know what I mean, like it's gonna be a single shot thing and it's like that's gonna be the cool part and you're gonna be like oh where did they fuck up here, and that's what you're gonna spend. So I kind of slept them. And then I saw a lot of people, including somebody else on the show, throwing it on their list, and I was like, "Oh, I should watch it." And then I heard people saying that it's like the best zombie movie that they've seen since Train to Busan, and all that shit. I'm like, "All right, well, maybe I'll give it a go." And I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this movie is fucking rad." Like it is all go and no slow. And if you haven't seen it, it is a single shot, and it's amazing a single shot. It's an amazing single shot thing, and that is rad. But really, the movie is fucking amazing beyond. You know what I mean? And it's just like if it just follows people through kind of like a zombie invasion, and it's very very very, very and it's French. And the French do good stuff. So that's and then my honorable mentions, because because Cuckoo was on there, but my honorable mentions are and you're gonna love these, Graham. The First Omen and Immaculate. I'm gonna say.
And what was the second one?
Immaculate, which is similar movies, and I liked both of them, and I think they both deserve to be on.
I didn't like the First Omen, so I didn't bother with Immaculate.
You would probably like Immaculate when First Omen, but I liked both of them. I thought they were good. I thought they were interesting. Did I love them? They're definitely honorable mentions. You know what I mean? They're more firmly honorable mentions than the other ones. Like that's why, like when I looked at like, okay, well, what's my honorable mentions? That was that, and you know what I mean? Because if I start going the other movie, you know what I mean? Like there has to be a certain category, and I'm like, I'm not going to put Cuckoo next to First Omen. I mean, I love First Omen. First Omen's like, I think a badass fucking film, but I don't rate it like I do Cuckoo, which was like really brilliant and innovative film that was like really beautifully done and really interesting.
More Dan Stevens too. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Like
that him popping up and it shocked me actually.
Exactly. And but both those movies are really good. There's a couple movies I missed. You know, I'm gonna I'm going to throw because we're friends with David and everything, and I don't think it needs any more publicity. Not that all of these don't need much more publicity, but I mean, watch Terrifier 3 if you haven't. Movies I missed out on this year, whereas I hear BB is really good, and I didn't see that, but I hear that it's very good. So I kind of feel weird having seen it, but and I haven't seen Nosferatu. No for us. Why am I like
Nosferatu?
Nosferatu. Like I like it's like oh man, those milligrams are getting to my freaking brain synapse.
I do want to shout out to get like an extra special. I think honorable mention, Infested, the French spider movie. That was so fucking great, and actually, just spiders and French hip hop. Like I'm sold.
I'm just putting that on my top one. I got a top 13 now.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just putting that. I'm not putting it on the honorable mention. It doesn't need it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good enough film to.
It really is.
Yeah. Do you want me to read down?
Sure. Yeah.
I can read. So number 10, Jonas has put Immaculate at number 10.
There you go.
Actually, this next one is an honorable mention of mine too. 9, he has Smile 2. Which I think that
was an honorable mention of mine. I really couldn't deny it. You know, I denied the first one, and I haven't even rewatched it. And I don't think you
should rewatch the first one. Rewatch.
Well, after seeing 2, I was like, oh geez, yeah, this was cool. Like, it was much cooler, I thought. Like,
I still prefer the first one, and I think Sosie Bacon's performance in it is we love our
I should rewatch for her.
Right. In the first one, I just think it's a cool movie. Like, a lot of people get down on the CGI like aspect at the end and stuff like that, but like,
no, I thought that looked kind of rad.
I thought it looked kind of rad too, and like whatever. Like, it's like, hey, listen, I grew up on the cheapest effects, which are now like everybody loves because they're campy and hilarious and stuff like that. But at the time, people were like, how could you watch this crap with these cheap effects? And that's kind of how I feel like about modern CGI. You know what I mean? And like it's just talent. You know what I mean? So Smile 2 at number 9, and number 8 he has Street Trash, the remake.
Very well done. Ryan good.
It
kicks so much ass.
Yep, it's so good. Number 7, Azrael. We both loved.
Excellent
Azrael.
work. Yep.
Number 6, Late Night with the Devil.
Is that maybe the only one we all had on?
No, we have
The Substance, probably.
And number 5, he's got The Devil's Bath, which we all.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yep. Number 4, he's got Mads, which is a
hell yeah,
great choice. Number 3 is The Substance, which we all had. Number 2 is Strange Darling, which is another movie I missed this year, and
missed that too.
And everybody's just like, I mean, I can only watch so much between.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
100%.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah. And honestly, I'm going to tell you that it's harder for me to get to things that I have to pay for. And I hate being that way, but it's like,
no, it's true.
But like, I have been, financially, this has not been my best year. And so like, having dropped $10 occasionally for a movie is tough. So I give myself a pass for that. But although I know that Strange Darling is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then at number 1, he has Black-Eyed Susan, which you both have, which, I mean, I could just throw on my list too. I love Black-Eyed Susan. Actually, I could maybe slide it. Anyway, I don't know. I love Black-Eyed Susan. It's such an intense film that it's hard for me to like, you know what I mean?
It's not fun. It's not like,
a fun
hey,
film. Like, it's like, I don't remember it. Like, I mean, it's, for me, it had the same effect of like Speak No Evil the year before, which was like, it's like, do I think Speak No Evil is one of the better movies made in the past few years? I absolutely do. I think story-wise, and I think just sheer brutality and just being able to like stretch that rubber band to the point where like it almost broke up our fucking podcast because it was such a thing. Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And when I hear people say like, oh my God, well, I wouldn't have stayed, and like, one of those people had opportunity, I'm like, you're missing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, yeah, like, yes, you wouldn't have stayed, but that's kind of the idea behind the movie. It's like, that's like the abuse cycle and all those things. So do I think it's amazing? And I think both Speak No Evil and Black-Eyed Susan are really intense, uncomfortable films that are about abuse cycle. And you know what I mean? So like, I love extreme movies, and I'm in kind of an extreme movie sort of renaissance in my life right now, and I've been watching a lot of extreme movies.
Same, actually.
And I think the world is really extreme, so
yeah,
I feel really more
to amp up,
right? And like, it lessens the effect of them when you're thinking about Project 2025 and stuff, you know what I mean? And so like all of these things, so like, but it's a little harder for me to put them on my like favorite lists comparatively to like, does that make sense?
100%. 100%.
And I love, and it's not that I don't love these films, you know what I mean?
No, I think
would I ever suggest to anybody that isn't you guys who's watching Oliver? Probably not. Like, I would probably not suggest that to anybody, because it is not a fun watch, but boy,
sure I didn't suggest it to you guys when I first watched it.
you're like, yeah, I don't want anybody to watch this. I mean, trigger warning, if anybody decides to go watch Who's Watching Oliver, please, strong trigger warnings. Okay, it deals with some very tough things, and sort of flippantly, but not. Anyways, so did I love that movie? For sure. Would I put it on any list? You know what I mean? No, I'm not going to. You know what I mean? So it's so that's just kind of like where I'm at with Black-Eyed Susan, even though Scooter McRae is rad, and I think the piece of art he created is
seminal.
seminal and fucking like an important conversation. You know what I mean? And like, and you know, and I think like that. Do I want to just more watch Humane? Yes, that's what, that's where my vote's docked right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
I think I might watch that tonight for the end of the year.
What, Humane?
Yeah,
do it.
I bought it when it came out, you know, like, right. And I haven't watched it since. So
yeah. I hope someday we can. I'd love to get Caitlin Cronenberg on the.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna do recommendations. You want to do recommendations, or
didn't we just do a huge thing of it?
We just did it all recommendations.
You could watch Squid Games, I guess.
Yeah, you know, like Squid Games is rad. I don't know. I've been reading, man. I've been like,
I've been sick.
I've just been reading, and we got some great people lined up for the beginning of the year. We got some irons and some fires for some other great things. We ended the year really strong with Nick Roberts and
David Howard Thornton.
Yeah, but I mean, those are two. You know, I'm really pushing to try to get an author a month this year. So if you're into horror writing and stuff like that, I'm going to be really pushing for that to get some of the killer horror writers that we can on the show. Just because it's such an important aspect of all this, you know what I mean? And if you're just checking us out and you're following up on that David Howard Thornton thing, just know that we got more great episodes coming out this year with similar sort of things. We do have a Patreon. If you go over to patreon.com and search AGHP 666. You will find our lovely drawn faces, and we have a bunch of tiers. We have $1 to $20. We have already posted a couple things in the past couple weeks. We have dedicated to. We have really sucked at posting things on it for the past year, but we are dedicated now to doing some things. We got
more content.
Jonas and I just released a deep dive into a Serbian film. Speaking of, extreme film. So that's where we're at. You know, we love you all over the world. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this year and being part of this. We had a great year. We increased our listenership exponentially. We have more people, more all over the world than we ever had. And we're very, very fortunate to be able to.
We have the core army of the goddamned. We've got Michael and Drew and Stephanie and Katie and Chris, Alan, Bacon Bits, Angela, Jasmine, Jason, Jake, Vivian, Ron, Kristen, Mandy, Coleman, Jared, Michelle, and Brandon. So that's the core. They're the best. And you can join the army of the goddamn too. And I will love you just as much. And hey, Ryan.
Yes.
I love you, man.
And I love you too, Graham.
Thank you for this whole thing. You know, you and Jonas, we love you. I love you. Jonas.
Yep. And we'll all chat in the new year. And and until we chat again, please start some fires and break some glass.
Hail Satan.
Hail. Gigi Salvador.
Oh, Gigi.
Yeah, let's get Gigi back up.
Hell yeah.